Arsenal have had lots of ups and downs this season, but there's no doubt about it, in the league they're on a fantastic form with 6 wins in a row this year. And with thrashing teams every week, I think they are the best tactically run team right now in the Premier League. And this video is going to explain why they are so good in so many different systems. Let's get into it. Now, I know there's going to be a bit of pushback on me saying that, and there's going to be a lot of credit to Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, who have obviously won things a lot more than Arsenal have and deserve to be at the top. And obviously these two are brilliantly run clubs, but they also have insane players. Now, I'm not saying Arsenal don't have insane players. I really do think they have some special players who are not rated enough. But if you look at the squad building, especially by Manchester City, their team overall depth-wise is a lot more than Arsenal, so I expect them to be doing better performances, but right now they simply aren't. And I think that comes down to the tactical versatility of Mikel Arteta's side and how he's made it so good. I think every single player is becoming useful and worthy in this team because of his setup, and he's really getting the best out of certain players such as Jorginho and Kivior, name a few. Now, there's loads of ways that Arsenal actually attack and play football, but there's two main ways they actually like doing their system, as even the Jorginho way or the Trossard way. There's also situations where they use the Jesus way, which could be useful, but these are very different ways. Against Newcastle, for example, they use the Jorginho way, where Arsenal look to press aggressively against Newcastle's 4-2 build up from the start. Rice was used in the double pivot with Jorginho and was actually tasked to bring and press Newcastle's double pivot that they had themselves and reduce their influence in the game. Now, this works against teams that are supposed to attack more and want to break on you, that have very good attacking players. Now, Rice can go and press down intensely with the front line of Havertz, Odegaard and Saka, and also Ben White helping the press. If they do get out, or some situations where Arsenal can't win the ball back, then Rice might be out of the play, but this is helpful because you usually got Jorginho and Gabriel sitting deeper, waiting to be aggressive to try and get the ball. With Jorginho's unmobility, it's actually not the best, but this is okay because usually Rice is very good at getting the ball and usually making sure the lanes are impossible to pass through. Now, this press forces turnovers for teams that are actually very good on the ball. We did this against Newcastle and we did this against Liverpool. This allows the team to get a lot of structure and a lot of fluidity in the midfield, with Jorginho sitting deeper, often looking for space, but also being very good to stop balls going through. He covers the space between the lines and could help to mark a specific player in situations where they needed it to. This is when Newcastle had players that dropped deeper or dropped further up, and then he would make sure they were not getting through, with Rice going crazy, having to run towards the players. Now, this helps when Arsenal have the ball as well, because Arsenal could often vary their shape pressing. They can either do a 3-2-5, 4-2-4 or 4-1-5 with the ball against Newcastle's 4-5-1. Now, this helps because Jorginho is a lot deeper and it makes progression with his brilliant passing very easy. He can often pick up the ball in space and find really good passes, getting the ball out to space, with Odegaard and Saka having it a lot. This also allows Arsenal to create overloads on both sides. They often use Rice to help this, and he can go in the midfield right or left, and this often creates them to get through with some of the players. This system is also good against teams that have got a lot of attacking presence because it often puts Arsenal in a 4-4-2 defensive block. This allows them to be compact and be sticking together, and also help them get each other's help when they need to get the ball back. Also allowing people like Saka to be on the wing in space, being able to attack quickly if they can get the ball to Jorginho or Rice, with Jorginho's brilliant passing. The Jorginho system is better against better defences because it allows Arsenal to slow down the play and break through really good defences, taking their time working the ball in different spaces, as we saw in the Newcastle game. But they also are very good on the break with their quick movement, getting the ball out to Saka and obviously scoring. However, this is a brilliant system and lets Arsenal have a lot of fluidity and a lot of the ball, making other teams not create a lot. They're also very fluid because they can also use the Trossard system, which has also been working against lower sides that don't really want the ball. This system means that Odegaard is given more responsibility in deep phases. He often has to form the double pivot with Rice and help Rice if he needs defending or picking up the ball. Havertz and Trossard were the main targets between the lines, but Martinelli and Saka could also be another option coming in to help when they need to. In this system, it often means Arsenal have a lot of players forward and midfield waiting to run at any time, and Ben White will often invert helping the press and helping the attacking phases. Ben White will help Arsenal build up with the ball, win a 3-2-2-3, often coming into midfield if Odegaard has pushed up, or if Odegaard is still in a deeper position, he will often be a wing back and actually overlap with Saka. This is often has to be very good though, because Odegaard has to wait for him to get into position, and when Odegaard moves up, he often demands Ben White to get there. Trossard is very interesting as well because he doesn't really play as a striker. He plays like another midfielder option in there, giving Arsenal more penalties in the midfield and overrunning that system of the play. He often will come left to help Martinelli, or come in the middle and come deeper to pick up the balls and do over the top through balls. Now, something that they do in this system a lot is Havertz will come and win the headers from goal kicks, and then Havertz will often go and try and press the last defender or be on the last man trying to sit over the top. This is so that if the other team is doing a high line, we can have more than just Saka running. Martinelli keeping side deep, and with Havertz being able to run through the middle, it definitely gives us options. The fluidity of Trossard coming back also helps Arsenal overload the midfield and help to find other players between the lines for aggression. This means it doesn't have to be Trossard, could be Odegaard, could be Havertz, and often means if Ben White or Odegaard want to come forward, it creates that 5 in attack that they want from their 3-2-5 build-up happen naturally. And also with Kiviat also overlap, it could be a 6 at time. Now if you want to see me break down the system in a much more detailed way, look at some of my other videos, but this system basically allows Arsenal to go against teams that are going to be a bit deeper, going to not want the ball and want Arsenal to attack them, and it gives Arsenal a lot of control, being very unpredictable. Now the reason why Arsenal are so good tactically is because they can do so many different ways. They can do these two systems. Also they can play Jesus in there where he plays a bit of a hybrid of the two roles, or you could play Zinchenko, a ball winning player. He could be on the inverted system in the left role. When someone like Timber comes back from injury, you'll see us a lot. He can play on both sides, left back and right back, and invert easily, giving Arsenal in-game much big tactical changes where they can invert in either side. And when they can play these two different systems and play so many different players in different positions and different roles, it often makes Arsenal very unpredictable in games. How can you plan for someone which you don't know who they're going to play against you? You might think you have an idea if they're going to play this system, but they always have new ways of getting past it, like as Odegaard playing deeper, having Jorginho there being this brilliant passing, or having people like Ben White and Kiviat be a bit more aggressive and trying to get on the ball and try and get further up the pitch. They also have so many different threats. Now they're very good from the wing. They can often play a little bit of a direct style, but sometimes they're not necessarily used to it. If Gabriel Jesus plays, they're probably more likely to play a direct style of football where they cross the ball in trying to reach Havertz and Jesus in the air, or Saka goes on a 1v1 and tries to get past the players down the wing. They can also go over the top to try and score goals. Also they can also overlaps to get closer to the goal, and obviously while being a brilliant team from every corner situation, which they change up every single game with the brilliant coaches they have. Mikel Arteta has found a way to get everyone in the team useful, and even when Saka and Odegaard had struggled in the past by getting overmanned on the wing, they've tried to help that with having Ben White, even like Rice coming to help, or even people like Jorginho playing a lot more narrow, so a lot of people are closer to the pitch and closer to each other, so everything can work well. Movements on Martinelli going forward have been a really key part of the last few games, with Martinelli moving onto the right side or into the middle when needed space. Havertz almost certainly has a free role where he just needs to go and win duels and sort of beef people to win the ball back and create a bit of physicality about Arsenal, giving them also a big threat from aerial wise and making them runs in behind. Trossard has a brilliant technical ability and has shown that, and has been brilliant going forward in different roles. He can really pick passes out and go past players with ease, and the defence often is usually covered by the brilliant presence of Declan Rice, with obviously Gabriel being a very aggressive defender to help it a lot. Right now everything is clicking for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has managed to make all these players work to an extreme amount. Let me know what you guys think about Arsenal, and let me know if you think they could win the league this year or go on to do something special. Obviously the Champions League is looking bleak, but they can easily come back still with these brilliant tactics, but things do work a bit different in Europe. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you like this video, please go and watch my video yesterday where I talk about Jorginho's role specifically in the Arsenal-Newcastle game, and I appreciate your view as always. See you in the next one.